Welcome back. This is Sandy Holterhaus, your Rec Center Dietitian, and this is week 3. We're covering the macronutrients now, and protein will be featured today. So let's go ahead and learn about how much protein you need and how you can use protein after your workout to help maintain your lean muscle mass. So we'll start off here with the functions of protein. So first of all, we use protein for growth, for muscle growth, for maintenance and repair. We are always continually putting in protein into our body, and it breaks down to amino acids, and then those amino acids are rebuilt and shipped to the different parts of our body where we need to repair, grow, replace. And then protein is also what constitutes our enzymes and our hormones in the body. It's prevalent in the structures of our skin, hair, and nails. So collagen and keratin are composed mostly of protein. Protein also helps maintain the pH in our bloodstream. It balances fluids. If you've ever seen the small children that are in starving countries, and you see the bellies that are inflated with liquid, that is what we call kwashiorkor, and that is actually a protein malnutrition that sometimes comes in conjunction with energy malnutrition as well. But kwashiorkor is caused by that deficit in protein in the diet. Protein also functions in immune health. It helps in transfer and storage proteins, such as proteins involved in our hemoglobin and our iron, and also our fat carrying proteins, so those lipoproteins, the LDL, HDL, the VLDL, those type of proteins. And then protein also provides energy, but it's secondary to carbohydrate and fat. So we don't want to be losing muscle mass. So we want to make sure that there's conditionally enough carbohydrate and fat in our body so that we don't lose that muscle mass. So how much protein do I need? And I use a resource called Consumer Labs, and they do a lot of retro studies or studies where they look back at a lot of the data out there. So these are the numbers I use with my clients. Basically, they're saying that a healthy range seems to be between 0.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight up to about 0.73 grams per pound of body weight. And the reason that they limit it at that 0.73 is that they have found that most people don't absorb protein beyond that amount. So if you're buying expensive protein powders and really trying to bump up the protein, you're probably best just to stay within this range. And so if you can see here over on the in the blue column, you can see the pounds and body weight. So if you can come up near what your weight is, then that will give you a range of where we want to see you generally. So for example, a 150-pound person would be, 75 to 110 grams of protein per day. You also want to try to get that protein in several sittings. So generally they recommend about 25 to 35 grams per sitting. And again, that's to help the absorption of that protein. So if you do need more protein than that, you will probably have to have some protein shakes or protein bars, that type of thing in between meals to get that additional protein that you need. So what are some great sources of healthy protein? So an ounce of lean meat in general is going to have about 7 grams of protein. Now, if you're looking at a fattier meat, say a ribeye steak, that will contain less per ounce because you have a lot of fat in that steak as well. So we're really talking about lean protein when we say 7 grams per ounce. But say you're having a 6-ounce steak and it's lean like a sirloin, and 6 times 7, you're going to have about 42 grams of protein there. You probably won't necessarily be able to absorb all that at one time. So you might be better off eating, 4 ounces of that steak or 5 ounces, and then eating the additional steak at a later time. 6 ounces of Greek yogurt is pretty powerfully packed with protein, about 16 to 18 grams, as well as cottage cheese and ricotta cheese, high up there in protein. A cup of cow or soy milk is going to have about 7 to 8 grams of protein, so that's another great source for most of us. Plant-based protein powder, a scoop, and generally the scoop is, whatever the manufacturer defines the scoop as, is going to be about 15 to 30 grams. And same with milk-based protein powders, so your whey and your casein-based protein powders. So again, you just want to make sure, again, if you're taking in 2 scoops and it's 30 grams in a scoop, you get up to that 60 grams, you're probably not going to absorb it all. So you'd be better off splitting up those doses and having some of that protein powder in between your meals. Um, a cup of cooked beans or lentils is generally somewhere between 15 to 18 grams. Tofu is another great source. That is a soy-based product, so about 10 grams in half a cup. An egg is going to have about 6 grams of protein. The egg white, I think I put here 4, but 4 to 5 grams of protein in the egg white. Hummus, which is garbanzo beans and sesame uh, oil or seeds ground up, is about 5 grams and a fourth of a cup. So another great source for a snack. Raw broccoli. So I listed some vegetables here as well that have a little bit of protein in them as well. Raw broccoli, a cup is about 2.6, and Brussels sprouts are a pretty good source at 3.0 and half a cup. Edamame, which is the young soybean, the green soybean, cup shelled is about 18 grams. And those, by the way, are great added to salads to help increase the protein. Hemp seeds, about 3 tablespoons, and that's going to be about 10 grams. And your chia and flax seed, about 1 tablespoon is about 2 grams. So anytime you can add some of those seeds to smoothies or cereal, that can add up and help you get that additional protein that you want. So timing protein around your workout. So first of all, I would just say, go ahead and eat your regular meals, which include your mixed fuels and your protein up until your workout. And free amino acids, so when we break down that protein in our body after we've eaten it, they're going to be available in your bloodstream for about 6 hours. So they're circulating. So that's a nice thing to have those free amino acids available, because then they can go to where they're needed. And if we do start a workout, we know that we start to break down our muscles and tissues, and those amino acids are available. But from the studies, we have found that the biggest benefits of protein are delivered post-workout. And that's when your tissues have broken down and they're just ready to absorb and be replenished with those free amino acids. So we recommend that you get some protein in after that tough workout, optimally within about 45 minutes after your exercise. And the recommendation for that time is about 0.14 to 0.23 grams of protein per 1 pound of body weight. So again, take your weight in pounds and times it by the 0.14, and then times it by that 0.23, and that should give you that range of protein to take in after that workout. And again, the doors are open, your body is ready to absorb that protein at that time. And also remember to use those mixed fuels, so take in some carbohydrate and some healthy fat, because again, those help you to then use that protein for that repair. So protein after exercise has been shown to provide better muscle and tissue recovery, and it's also been shown to help with improved metabolic benefits, uh, even compared to having that protein prior to exercise. So those metabolic benefits could be things like blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar. So having that protein immediately after that workout. Um, and again, that number is 0.14 grams to 0.23 grams. And you can calculate that range, and that gives you some leeway as to what amount of protein you want to take in and what kind of sources of protein you might have available. So I just wanted to review here then some choices. If you are not a meat eater, vegan and vegetarians, there are a lot of great choices out there to get the proteins in. Um, you can use the plant-based protein powders that are available, such as the pea protein, the soy protein, or hemp protein. Those are pretty popular. Pulses, those dried beans, peas, and legumes are great sources of protein that you can add to salads, make soups with, and different types of casseroles and such. You can also turn to soy as a source. So I mentioned tofu, there's tempeh, miso, edamame, which is the young soybean, soy milk. There's also textured vegetable protein, TVP, that could be added into different foods and items that you make to help increase protein. We do know that if you are vegetarian and in particular vegan, there are nutrients at risk because most of these nutrients are found mainly in animal proteins. So B12, iron, vitamin D, omega-3 fatty acids, calcium, and zinc could be at-risk nutrients. Um, so if you are a vegan, a strict vegan, we would recommend that you look for supplements to help build up these nutrients in your body. If you're a vegetarian, you might consider adding some dairy products and eggs. So you could be a lacto-ovo vegetarian. Um, you could also be pescatarian and add maybe some omega-3 fatty fish, such as, salmon or black cod or sardines, that type of thing. And that can help complete those nutrients that you might be missing if you're a strict vegan. So that's all I have on protein this week. Be sure and join me next week when we're going to talk about healthy fats.